Hello everyone. I already made this video in a way when I talked about the Commonplace book and the ways that I have been retraining my attention span. But I have decided to make another one because something has changed and it's really cool, and I just want to share it and invite you all to consider doing it in your life too. So I was calling it the Commonplace book, and I read up on commonplace books and I watched videos on commonplace books. And the one that I really enjoyed the most was from a YouTuber, Megan Rhiannon. And I actually adopted some of her methods of organizing her planners and stuff. They really work well for me. I don't know if our brains work similarly, but I really appreciated her videos because I have a really hard time with calendars where you have to flip back and forth, like your months one place and your weeks are another place and your days are another place. I am a person who needs everything on one page, and so I have developed a way to do that. And I'll just show you really quickly. So my monthly is still here, and then those are important things that I can't forget during the month. And then for my weeklies, all my important calendar, I'm not going to even show, I don't want to show what's on here, but people's names are on here. So I put all of my appointments. This is a holiday week, so it's pretty light, but I still have clients, even on Christmas Eve. But all of my appointments that I cannot forget are here. And then all of my weekly tasks are here. And then I just have a little calendar where I check things off as I do them. And this has been working. I've done this now for 3 weeks, and it's been working really, really well for me. So I learned that from her. I just wanted to show you that. And also, I'm going to say right now that in the back of this book, I'm going to also start another wool gathering. Because the weeks calendars come with, the one I have has a lot of note pages. So there's going to be another one back here. But anyways, I learned a lot from her on that. And if you have not seen her videos, her YouTube name is Megan Rhiannon, Rhiannon. But anyways, as I've been using my commonplace book, and I've been using it a lot every day, several times a day, because it is tremendously helpful for me. And I've been doing it for a while, but I've sort of shifted my way of doing it as I've learned more and I've done it more. Because when we start a new habit and we make it a habit, then eventually it evolves to suit us better, right? To suit our needs better, or it should. So mine has. But in the past couple weeks, I've really been thinking a lot about this book. This book is called Woolgathering, and it was written by Patti Smith. I've had it a long time, and my copy, the cover just fell apart. My copy is sort of worn, but in here she talks about, let's see, I want to, I'm never going to find it. I should, oh, here it is. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off so I don't waste your time until I find it. Sorry. All right, I'm just going to read you this part. It's part of a story that she's writing. And she says, "They be the wool gatherers. I didn't question beyond that. It seemed too fragile, too important. I just lit out, fairly flew, scarcely remembering to say goodbye. I did turn to wave as I ran, and his open eyes caught mine and seemed to contain that which one might only call a splendor. I was not at all sure what a wool gatherer was, but it sounded a worthy calling and seemed a good job for me. And so I kept watch in every weather. Then I drew the cloth and lay upon my bed, unable to sleep, amusing myself by giving them names and designing by the beam of my pocket flash their cloaks and boots in the clouds they called home. And the image of the wool gatherers in that sleepy field drew me to sleep as well, and I wandered among them through thistle and thorn with no task more exceptional than to rescue a fleeting thought as a tuft of wool from the comb of the wind. Whenever I read this, I get teary. I don't know why. It really affects me. The music of the wool gatherers performing their task, bending, extending, shaking out the air, gathering what needs to be gathered, the discarded, the adored, bits of human spirit that somehow got away, caught up in an apron, plucked by a gloved hand. From all this the cloud is formed. The cloud is formed. And so the sky resembles the human opera, the turbulent promenade. It attracts the lazy eye. It appeases the weary in a play of movements heralding the simple. The wool gatherers performing their task without wage or contract, with singular collective grace. It is one of those inexplicable things, for it is a service one enters without expectation or design, where one, lost in thought, may feel a tap upon the shoulder and find oneself far flung in a swirl of dust, swung about and brought to a sudden halt. With such a burden lifted, such a glory in the hand and racing anticipation, as if one had an appointment, a do-si-do with the setting sun. And she goes on and on and on. This book is a treasure, and if you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. It's Woolgathering by Patti Smith. But the whole idea is that there are so many of these little errant bits of our daily life, our ordinary life, thoughts that are fleeting and will never come back, that we can capture, right? We can set to paper and document our life this way. It doesn't have to be a big manifesto. It can be little bits and pieces gathered together in one simple place. Or in my case, in every notebook that I use. So it doesn't have, it doesn't have to be this big, extraordinary thing. It's small and it's moments. It's built of moments. So a wool gatherer is something I actually learned about from a friend from Ireland. And these were the women or men or children who would, when they were walking the fields, they would gather the bits of the sheep's wool that got caught on fences and stones and the hedge, right? So little tufts of wool, and they would gather them as they go, and then they would collect them and bring them home, put them in the basket, and eventually they would be carded and washed and carded and spun, right? So it's collecting all these little odds and ends that eventually will get recycled and will perhaps help you create something new. That is what a wool gathering book is, and that is what I am doing. And I'm inviting you to join me in that. And we'll have check-ins now and then. And I would like to, maybe even just a post on YouTube. I invite you to begin with me and see how we go, and maybe share pages of it here and there. So I just want to show you. So I've got that book, my daily planner, and I've also got my larger planner I use for different purposes. It's used up. But so this is my one that I started with, and this is dedicated to wool gathering, and it's only for wool gathering. And I've taken it with me places. It's been really great so far. I really love it. It's a little bit big, just to stick in my pocket and go, but I'm really enjoying it tremendously, and it's been great. So this is the Robiki notebook, the one I talked about in that video, so I'm not going to go into that too much. And I've been using these notebooks for a while, and so I've got a few. And when this one's done, I'll store it and start the next one. And I'm on the hunt for a storage system for these, and something that's lovely and worthy and that can sit in my home and I can just tuck them in, and someday um, will be given to my children, but also my grandchildren, but also there are references for me, and I go back into them, and these are the moments of my life that were little, sometimes little, not sometimes not so little bits of things that make up my days, right? And so sometimes I divide the page in half when I know I want to write some thoughts about things. Um, then I can do that. That's kind of private, so I just folded it over. But it's just it's the best. It really is. It really is the best. So that's my dedicated one, right? And I had, like I showed you in the front, I have a key. And the key is and I've refined this key since then. So when I start a new one, I'll use my new key. But I was using dot markers, and just my keys were literature, art, haiku, myth, and being, which is kind of a catch-all. And then I just use a sticker to denote which topic it is. And when I'm done with the book, then I'll make an index. So that's that one. And I keep all the tools that I need for it right here. I keep it pretty simple. So that's that one. And like I said, it's a little bit big, and so I got this lovely pouch as a gift, and I decided to, Megan and Rhiannon had talked about field notes. So I decided to try that for one that I can have with me at all times. I can either just take the book in my pocket, or it just goes in my little bag, and then inside are all the tools I need, right? Just a pen and that. So I put a sticker from my friend Teresa Hutch on the front, and then I made my key, and I just wrote a little bit about what wool gathering is, and then this is ready to begin. And so I changed my system a little bit. I've got art and literature together, haiku, because I strongly study haiku, so that I have a lot of notes on haiku. Myth and storytelling were together, being, and then Japanese aesthetics, which is something that I study a lot and I take a lot of notes about. I have whole notebooks dedicated to it. So instead of that, I'm just going to have the things that I come across, because I've done so much research. Now it's just little odds and ends that come to me, and so it will go in my Woolgathering book. And I put the date that I started it and where I started it, and my email address in case it's lost. And that's it. It's just this little book. You buy them 3 at a time. This is the grid notebook. And it's great, and it just goes right in here, and then everything else is in there. And then I've also got my daily pages, and those I decorate a little more and tuck things in when I need to. And I've talked about this notebook in another video. It is my very favorite now. But unfortunately, just a little too hard to get to make it my daily all the time. But I do love it. So that is wool gathering. I think it's the coolest thing ever. And the whole idea of it makes me a little weepy, to be honest with you. I don't know why, I'm just a nerd. But yeah, I just wanted to share it with you. It can be as simple as you want it to be, but my suggestion is to keep it simple. Make it pretty, make it so it appeals to you, like I love the sticker codes that I learned from Megan. She says she learned it from someone else. Put a little sticker in here and there, but otherwise just keep it simple. I'm keeping it black ink and then my magic pencil to draw lines in between, and that's it. Just not a bunch of different fountain pen inks and stuff, just really simple, just a black ballpoint pen. That's it. That's wool gathering. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear if you have read this book, and if you have, what it means to you. Yeah, would just love to hear your thoughts. I feel really inspired by it, and it's just this place of comfort, to have a notebook. It's a really great thing. All right, everybody. And also I'm at the same time still transcribing and helping my attention span, which has been a huge gift. So, all right. Thank you so much. Short video, but I just really wanted to share it. And yeah, I'll see you again soon. Take care.